That's Swedish. Hey.
Hey.
I can say one word in any language. I can go into Japan and have a complete conversation in any Japanese location by just walking in and going, hi, and they'll say hi back, which means yes. Okay, I'm going to give my cell phone away right now. Seriously. The first person who knows my first name gets it.
But I can't take it. Whoa!
There it is. Good luck with that, Doug. No, don't throw it back. My name is Randy Resnick. I use the name Randulo as a pseudonym because Randulo, if you Google it, there's only one guy someplace in some country I've never heard of that uses that name. Gee, is Stefan, is he gone already? Because I was going to ask, Stefan, are you here? Let's have a big round of applause for Stefan. This is a great thing that he's done. Okay, I'm kind of a modest, low-key guy, but you see, I'm the only person in this conference so far that has gotten applause in the first 5 minutes of his presentation. Is somebody saying, is anybody connected here? No, not yet? You guys, if anyone's out there on Jabber, I can't figure out how to tell you to get there, but there it is. And I thought it'd be funny to have that up there for a minute because it has something to do with what I'm about to say. So now let's go into the more traditional. Oh, this thing screws with the screen. Okay. There we go. I think I need to detect the Windows settings, huh? No, that looks right. Here he is. Ola. Okay, as I said. Oh yeah, but this is gonna, okay. Accept. Okay, this is the unplanned for side of things. Uh-oh. Okay, this is the this is the problem with technology. What are we talking about here from the user perspective? Because I'm a user, I don't have anything to sell you. Nothing. Nothing at all. I don't want your money. All I want is one thing. You can see me, I stand before you naked, as Joyce Carol Oates said. I'm not young. In fact, I'm probably the oldest person in this room. I'm not pretty, I know, nothing to look at. I don't have that much charm, I'm not funny. I'm not even that intelligent compared to most of the people in this room. But I have one quality that not many of you have, and that is, I'm a cheerleader, you know? Hey, go team for VoIP. And I think that, you know, looking at Jay here in the audience, he's probably one of the only other people that is so excited about this stuff. You know, the rest of us are, yeah, well, you know, yeah, so we hooked the Jabber server up to the thing, and then we got Sipser open, machin truc. This is great. But I feel, honestly, that there's a lack of non-geekdom about this world, too. Well, I'm a lifelong geek. I was 13 years old. I passed my amateur radio test in the United States. I was one of the youngest licensees in the state of Washington. So I'm a geek. I actually had glasses that were taped together at one point because I broke them at work and we couldn't replace them. And I had the pen holder. I am really the geek from the 60s, 70s on. But you know what? I discovered girls, folks, and I discovered rock and roll and other things I won't mention here. It's really important to get out there into the world. And what's ironic, I find, about the VoIP world is it's about communication, right? Here's all this hooking the audio up and making the calls, you know. You ever heard the expression, all dressed up and nowhere to go? Who are you calling? And when I go to these shows, there's a small amount of people who get it and who realize, and they're circulating around trying to shake every hand they can and say, hey, I'm so-and-so from Poland, and, you know, what's happening? If only from the human standpoint, this is extremely cool. Okay, when was that? Okay, here's what's important to me. One of the things that I try to do in my cheerleading activities, and I didn't have my costume today, sorry. VoIPusersConference.org. I'm going to talk a minute about it because my presentation really is not that long, and a lot of the things I have to say, we're going to go very quickly. But this first part's important to me. So unfortunately, it's important to you too. VoIPusersConference.org. If you have never heard of this, please go look at it. It's nothing to look at. It just has all the information so that at 12 noon Eastern Daylight Time, that's about 16 hours, 4 p.m. GMT, correct? You can call any Friday. You'll be connecting with 30 or more people who are very interested in Asterisk, but they're also interested in Yate and OpenSeer and a whole bunch of other things. We haven't been able to attract newbies, so if you like the closed world of the geekdom, Asterisk, Yates, OpenSeer world, that's fine, because that's basically who's there right now. I would really like to get people who came in and said, okay, this is all great, but how do I do it? You know, that'd be wonderful. That would be my dream, because we'd have hundreds of people. The server is TalkShoe, and TalkShoe's server is just a normal conference bridge. They do have a SIP connection, and you can see the address there. I'm checking to see if there's any heckling from Ola here. So, you know, you can call in on SIP as well. Please try this and check it out. Now, here is the very first Asterisk-Tag that goes back quite a ways to the days of Mark's grandfather. There's Mark's grandfather. This is a Zorcom guy from Israel. Looks a little like him. Albert Einstein is somehow, his grandfather was in there too. Anyway, trademark. Is Michelle here? Okay, so I don't have to worry about that. Trademark violation. So, you know, the Astricons, which I couldn't erase, but maybe you'll be at the one in Phoenix. These things are history-making events in a way. Well, they could be. And I'll get back to that in a second. Too bad about not seeing the headlines, but what is all the buzz about VoIP? This is the part that you pretty much know, so we're going to try to go real quick. Yeah? Well, yeah, but when I do, it keeps coming up. Let's see. It's too bad iJustine couldn't get on. I've lived in Europe for over 25 years, and when I first... All right, that's it. I'm out of here. We don't need the titles anyway. I'd rather have people... You guys, several of you have invites to come into this thing, so you should be there. And this is the whole point, is to get on here and be on the screen. I want you on this screen. This is called presence. It's part of it anyway. Back to the history very quickly. When I lived in Europe in the 90s and even some of the 80s, it cost like $50 to call my brother for 20, 30 minutes. You know, you wouldn't, in fact, it was unthinkable to call people from Europe to the United States for 30 minutes. Not to mention that you're calling, it's costing $1 a minute or more. Plus, because it's not a local call, you're talking on cable or I don't know what. It was worse than most VoIP connections, worse than any cell connection. And you're paying like $5, and then it's like, can you hear me? Can you hear me now? It was a nightmare. So in 1994, those of us over here in Europe especially, all expatriates know about the callback numbers. Boy, if there was ever a lame technology, by the way. So you call, and then you enter like 15 digits, then you hang up. Then the thing calls you back. You have to enter another code, and then you dial the actual number. So it's like, you know, if you had any handicap of any kind, or dyslexia, you're dead. But anyway, next came dial pad. Anybody remember dial pad? Ah, good. Dialpad claims to have surpassed the 2 million users. That's 2000, that's not that long ago, 8 years ago, before the big bubble burst. Today, in most of Europe, and I think in the United States, you've got the convergence, the triple play operators, TV, cable, telephony, and internet connection. Ironically, we're lucky that in France and in much of Europe, particularly in Sweden, we can pass some of these without comment. Internet connectivity is terrific, whereas in the United States, it ain't that great a lot of times, or it's super expensive. Anyway, this gets, again, like some of these slides I was not able to get rid of, and this is like a getting started thing. So you download, you know, and all that. You've gone through all this, right? Then there are some much more exciting and newer hardware things you can do, so let's move on. Choosing the type of services. Again, this was, well, I was hoping to get rid of the animation because it doesn't seem to be keeping up. I think